All right, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. You guys should be hearing me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right, all right, sounds like you guys can hear me now. I was able to check my end. So the markets are starting to move. Look at that. My community's been basically harassing me in the best of way possible. Sometimes it's the only way really to get a hold of me and get my attention. So let's check out the markets, right? And let's see what's going on, right? The markets are moving, as we can see. Here's Bitcoin, BTC moving up. We did bounce off that 8 period moving weekly average almost exactly, right? They did put in some pretty decent movements here. Now, when it comes down to Bitcoin and its movements, right? What we need to make sure that we're not being fooled by, right, is the fact is this a false rally? And I have felt like it's been a false rally simply because of some of the movements that we're seeing in the down and up markets. Um, Basically, just how we're seeing higher highs and higher lows, but not a lot of volume coming in, right? And I keep talking about that simply because it's that's a real true test of a market move, right? And so that's how we know that it's that it's a true move of the market, right? Is when we start to see real institutions and real people getting involved. It's not a and so I can't hear you. People are still skeptical. I don't care. I don't care, bro. True, Duke. I'm glad for you, man. I don't care if you're skeptical or not. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I've had so many people harassing me on like social media. I just don't care anymore. Like literally now I get why the influencers just pay no mind to people. Literally. Because of the stuff that's actually coming in. But anyways, I don't care. I'm not scared. Volume is coming though. I'm not skeptical. I don't. I'm not harassing you. Oh, I'm not saying you are, Duke, bro. No, 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 no. Let me rephrase that. It's just I mean that in general overall. I gotta remember that too. And this is the other thing, right? Uh, like do one little thing you say wrong, like you could say something for like a whole entire 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but they take these little snippets and say ba ba ba, and you're just like, bro, did you totally just pull that out of context or whatever? And I'm not saying that's what you did, Duke. So like that's why I've kind of even taken a hiatus. And um, some people, I brought some people on. They were talking about some crazy crap, some crazy craziness about like child like stuff and and I actually got in trouble for that on YouTube. Um, so yeah, I kind of took a little break on that as well, bringing people on because you just don't know what they're going to say sometimes. And I let people say what they want to say, but yeah, it just kind of, it just kind of snowballed effects. I just said, you know what, this is not worth my time. At least not yet. It's not like I'm making thousands and thousands of dollars based off of this, right? So it's just not. But trust me, I feel you on that, right? Like that's the truth, right, Duke? You're just like, my dude's like, chill. But yeah, so it's been real cool. Hey, Duke, if you don't mind, man, like and share this out to let people know what I'm doing. I appreciate that. I'm too old to be trolling, bro. I feel you, dude. Yo, I'm in my 40s, man, and I feel this. I feel you. I'm about I'm about education and honesty. Yes, I support those who are. Amen, man. Amen. Preach it, man. Preach it. That's the truth. So I don't know if that music, maybe I'm gonna turn down that music. Let me know if it's a little too loud. Um, I know sometimes it can be a little loud, so let me jump that back down here real quick. Like it might be a little too loud. Bring that down just a little here. All right, so um, yeah, let's go right into this stuff here real quick. And so that's why I've been a little bit of hiatus on some of my some of this. Um, And and it's a real thing. Some of this, I was reading a couple articles regarding the streaming stuff, and some people are going to jail regarding some of the stuff they have allowed to say or promote, and or fines. Real fines are happening now with this stuff, so it's kind of getting kind of crazy. I don't hear the music, but your vocals levels are perfect. Thank you. I've been trying, man. I've been really trying for that, making sure that that stuff is actually doing well, right? And sooner or later, I'm actually trying to get a whole entire setup when I start to do go live consistently. I really want to make sure that I have like the blue screen and all that, or not blue screen, excuse me, green screen and all that other stuff correct. So yeah, so let's jump right into this stuff here real quick. So we can see here that this past week, man, this was pretty dope. We saw some pretty big movements. Glad to see you back, Pedro. Thank you, I appreciate that, Jay Hire. Hope you're doing well. Uh, you can see here that we basically bounce off this 8-period moving average, also with a lot of volume, which is a decent amount of volume at least, right? Um, and it's been kind of consistent as we're seeing here. So we had the couple weeks ago where we actually had a sell-off, but not a lot of volume coming in on the sell-off, right? And when we look down at our open in or not open in, excuse me, where we are, the shorts. You can see here a couple weeks ago, right? We saw the short step in, but this was really important. Oh, let me put this up too as well. Put this in. Boom. Compare. Pay. There you are. Okay. All right. And so what this is right here is also an algorithm, or what's the word I want to use? A aggregate of the top cryptocurrencies in the market overall. So this lets me know, if we're seeing some markets moving up or down, I can sit there at a quick glance and see the top 10 and actually together what they're actually doing. So this kind of gives me that. And this is a similar thing for the stocks, for the stock market, like the top 10 movers. So here we are at the DT shorts, and you can see here that even though we did start to push up on it, that 8-period moving average on the actual shorts did keep us down, so it's actually pretty nice. So they did sell off here on their shorts, which we saw. This is the similar area that we saw the bounce off of the 8-period moving average on the weekly moving average, right? So let's check out the longs as well. So that's the real indicator for me, right? Are we seeing long step in, and are they increasing their bags? And yes, they are. Look, I mean, absolutely, right? Like a few weeks ago, like we were just going sideways for the last almost 2-3 months. Let me look. It's one big sideways movement. So we are starting to break out here. Now, are we going to continue? It all depends on if the market's going to move or not, right? Are we going to see those institutions come? And so I did drop in our community a comment on institutions and them really get involved. And the biggest thing that we need to do to bring them in, one, bring on ramp them to be able to get in with side hustle. So, and right now in the current market, there are a lot of boutique hedge funds that go through, and they allow major institutions to buy and sell in addition to their, and a good example of this is if you watch Billions, the show, there's this point where Taylor and Axe are talking, and Taylor steps away from his whole entire organization, and he basically just corners her like from a financial standpoint, and then says, I'm not going to destroy you, but what I am going to do is when we need to run orders into the market, I'm going to use you, because they can, not that they can only do so much, but it's a way for them to kind of get around the regulations. So that's one of the ways that they do it. And so the reason why I'm saying that is right now, there aren't really any way for them to really get in and buy up the crypto markets, because just even from a normal standpoint, our major institutions within crypto just can't handle the volume that real major institutions do in the traditional markets. I mean, we're almost 100-to-1 a ratio. I mean, when they get into the market, this is what I said in the actual voicemail in our community, that they get in not with millions, but starting with billions of dollars, right? And if not, sometimes trillions of dollars that they're getting into the market, that they're funneling money into it. And so, and they do this over a period of, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And then sometimes, a couple weeks, right, as well as this. Sometimes you see the market shoot up and then come back down and then shoot up and come back down. So it's real important to understand. And it's the other part behind it is the institutions, large institutions, are never um, they're not a single they just don't look at the market one way up or down, right? They're always short and long all the time in the market. They're bilateral market movers, right? Like whether if they're if it's going down, they're short, and most likely they're the ones who cause the short. And if it's moving up, they're long, but they're also going short at the same time, right? So it's really important. They've got their own clients, their own people that they're actually want to make sure that they make the money. So it's real interesting to see what's actually going on in the markets. Now, jumping back into crypto here with Bitcoin longs, you can see here that we are starting to push up. But again, I want to put this out here. We are in this like sideways pattern. So the sideways pattern really is really boom. Sorry about that. Here we go. So to me, I feel like this is really where we're sitting at. Give me 1 second. Right, well, maybe right here. This is where the bulk of it is. But this is where our sideways pattern is right here when it comes to, we'll just stick to this right here. Come on. Right, this is the sideways pattern, and we are starting to see some volume step in with the longs. But again, look, we've been here for almost since September, right? Boom, 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 boom. And we need to see some big volume stepping in, right, into Bitcoin. So what we might be seeing that we could see there's a bunch of shorts and a bunch of longs here in both directions. So it could be them messing with people. Like I always talk to you guys about, I want to see them coming in and putting in some real buyer wigs, right? Those buyer wigs let us know the defense of the sellers is really what we're looking to see the market come in. And so the defense buyers coming in, right? So when sellers step in, boom, 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 then we see them coming back and pushing the market up. So we saw some of that here, but then we also saw sellers stepping in as well. So it's kind of an even draw here. We're still on Tuesday here this week, and we don't really have a buyer wick again. So it's like, to me, still a little bit bearish in that asset when as I'm looking at the markets. Now, the backside behind it as well is, again, there are people that are still buying this market. So have the institutions, and that's the other thing, is the institutions will wait. They will wait. I mean, they can wait for years, waiting for them to get what they want in the markets. Because here's the thing, they know with crypto is not like a 10-20%, right, movement of gain. When this decides to go on its rally, we're talking 50, a 20 to 50x potentially with Bitcoin over the next, when it starts to rally. And so for them to get into a market and then really push it to that next level, they know they're going to get a major gain in it. Because the next bull market, I believe, is going to be that catalyst of really seeing the institutions get involved, seeing real corporate adoption, meaning like a Starbucks coin, we've already started to see major corporations start to do some stuff with crypto, right, in the last bull market, but it kind of was pulled back with this last bear market that we see or this last crypto winter. So, but crypto isn't done, right? Like they're still talking about, there's still, Bank of America, the Bank of New York, Mellon, right? They still haven't pulled away from crypto. They're getting up, they're setting up all their shops. So that's important to pay attention to, right? So are they the one holding these? I don't know. I know that there are a lot of small investors that just keep accumulating Bitcoin as well as Ethereum and all the other ones. So something to be paying attention to and looking at and seeing as we move forward. Now, let me go ahead here real quick. Is this right here? Ethereum, the aggregate for Ethereum, and I want to show this also. You know what we'll do this. I don't want to do compare. Let's go ahead and build this up here real quick. Boom, and give me 1 second. So what I'm going to do here real quick, as you guys can sit there and see this, and I got to make this quick because I actually have to jump out of here. At least I'm going to try to make this quick. Where we at? Market cap. I want to show you guys because you guys can do this as well. You know, to kind of give you a broad view of the market. So when I'm not posting, right, y'all can look at this. So let's go to this. So what I did, I went to CoinMarketCap, and what I'm doing is I'm looking at the overall market at large, or the market capitalization of all the coins. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them the top 10, okay? And then, and I'm also excluding the stable coins, okay? And so, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that. So it's going to be BTC plus, or you can do equal, but you can get plus, right? Then now I am going to go through BTC, ETH, right? Boom, plus BNB, plus B, and then it's going to be XRP, pardon me for this, ADA, plus, 1 second, ADA, Matic, DOG, boom, boom, Doge, SOL. So make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, and share. I think that's 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, boom. So we're gonna now add this into the market, right? I want to see these overall. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit plus. So what it's going to do is give me a chart of the top 10. Okay, and you can sit there and see what's actually going on in the markets and what we're seeing, right? And so I can see, and this is for me personally, right? This is more of just a quick way to be able to see the markets and what they're doing. I use this primarily, like again, like I said, as an aggregate to be able to gauge which way the market's moving, how it's moving overall, right? And so one of the ways that I try to use this for as well, okay, is if we're putting in higher highs or higher lows, right? I want to look at there and see this here. Now you can see here that we are bouncing off that 8 on the aggregate of pretty much the whole entire market at large. But we're not putting in higher highs, right? Like that's the key. And that's what I want to see right here, right? Is I want to see these higher highs. It's looking like it's not wanting to push up, but we are holding this bottom here. So again, this is kind of like, this is always hard part in the market, right? Like this part right here, we're gonna bust it through. You can play it moving up, right? But now that we're hitting at another resistance level, and let's jump back to, actually, I'm gonna see if I can add this to my, there you are, we're gonna copy this. Add this here, add symbol. There we are. We'll move this all the way up here as an aggregate. Give me 1 second. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Like you guys know more than welcome. You can always ask some questions. If I don't know the answer, I ain't gonna fake the funk. Like I don't know. But it's like I really don't know. Sorry. But if I do understand and I do know, yo, I'm gonna try to help out. So just make sure you just ask me a question if you have one here. I always like interacting with my audience. Okay, so the backside behind it as well is when we're looking at this, I want to be able to see, engage where we're really sitting overall in the markets, right? And as you can see here, that we're not necessarily, we're not necessarily seeing everything so correctly. So this is just one of those things we need to be able to see. Now, give me 1 second, one more. I have another idea. Come on, boom. Oh, come on. Oh, sorry, that's this one. Boom. Let's divide this by 10. 10. Give me it. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. So, boom. What I'm doing is give the mean of the market here. So, you can just simply see here that this is where we're sitting. We're having the sell off. Now, let's look at Bitcoin here real quick. Sorry, my brain just kind of went like, oh, let's try that. Boom. And I'm always thinking of a way to really see the markets in a different way that, that isn't necessarily seeing what we're seeing. Now, we're having a sell-off today, right? But you can see here that there's no real buyer wicks. And so I'm seeing more seller wicks coming in the last few days. But we are putting in higher highs. Here's, this is where I am looking to check out more than anything is that this 8 needs to hold on this next test, right? It has to hold. It can't pierce it. It can't mess with it. If we do see it, it's going to kind of mess things up, right? Because that means that this 8 is a weak 8. And so for me, I am looking primarily for that market move, right? For it to come back down and test these lows. Testing these lows is going to give us a higher low. That higher low is important for strength for the next move up. We want to see something similar to this right here, where we put in that buyer wick, right, with volume. What threw me off here is that we didn't have a lot of volume coming in on this. And so I want to see something similar, but with volume like this, or volume like this, where we're seeing it. Now, overall, it's not the same as we saw over here, but it's something that I want to be able to see, to sit there and say, well, the next leg then will be up to that 26,000 area, right? It's got to pass through that 200 period moving or that 400 period moving average, right? And that's a big moving average, and that's in the same area of other higher time frame moving averages. So like we have our weekly moving average sitting right here, and our monthly, our weekly 8, or excuse me, weekly 50 and the weekly 200 moving average sitting in these levels. You can sit there and see that the market does not want, it's having a hard time pushing through these levels. So is it going to hold? We'll find out. Secondly, looking at ETH, ETH is pretty much the same thing, guys. Like it's just, you have your higher time frame moving averages stepping in. You also have a lot of zones that we're playing off of. You can see here that 50 period moving average, keeping ETH at a low place here, right? And that's just kind of how we're rolling right now. Let's see what the monthly is doing on ETH here. Monthly actually held that 50 held. You can see it kept us moving up. And we'll see, we did bounce off that 8 period moving average on ETH. Now we're moving up. But again, pointing back to that weekly, you can see here that we're playing off of that 50 period moving average on that weekly. Important to see what's actually moving. Let's check out BNB here. BNB, pretty much for the perpetual, looks the same over the last few weeks. We did put in a pretty decent buyer wick on that weekly chart here, and we're finding support at these levels here, which is decent. You can see here that that weekly um, 20 has been finding support here, right? Or price has been finding support off of that 20 and weekly 8. Again, that's always a good sign when we're seeing we have that weekly um, 8 also finding support here as well off of that monthly too. So we've got some decent support here. But it's got to pass through that 400 period moving average. Just simply, if it doesn't, then we're going to have a hard time with that. All right, that looks like this is on the daily chart here. So we're actually doing some really decent consolidation above it. We'll find it out if we see volume step in. And again, we're not really seeing a lot of volume step in, right? And that's what we need to see this market move in a direction, whether it's up or down. So again, that's where we're sitting. Let's check out XRP here real quick. XRP, similar as you can see, right? That's why I do the aggregate, right? So it lets me know. So if I'm looking at Bitcoin and then I look at this, and if I see that there is some type of divergence, well, that speaks more volumes to me based off of what we're seeing in the market. Let's check out Litecoin here real quick. Litecoin here, put higher highs. Looks like some decent higher lows, so that's actually pretty decent. So be paying attention to Litecoin. If you do want to catch into this area here, I would say this area right here is maybe a decent area to go look at in the markets. And in addition to that, go ahead and look at the, actually, you know what? I just realized something. Everything that I am saying here is for educational purposes only and entertainment purposes only. Please consult your financial advisor for um, any buys, any shorts, or any taxes related events that you need to do it. Just because I'm not a tax expert, and nor do I have the current licenses to give you advice on the markets. As simply, this is my opinion and my thoughts, and it's not to be misconstrued as advice. This is not financial advice. So please consult your people that you need to consult. Let me go ahead and put that up here real quick. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little here we are. Boom. Real quick. 1 second, guys. I apologize. And I've been messing with this Bing thing. I don't know if you guys have been messing with it, but that new artificial intelligence stuff, man, this stuff is getting dope. We're in some times now where it's like, it's crazy, right? It's like crazy the times that we're in, what we've gone through, and all this stuff. I mean, it's just cool to sit there and see, where we're at. Boom. There we are. Bring this in there because you just don't know, right? Y'all like, are you serious, Pedro? Yes, I'm serious. Some of the stuff I've been dealing with, just don't know. And people are people, so you have to make sure that you plan for that. Oh, that's fine. There we are. Financial purposes only. There we are. This is supposed to be real quick. All right, here we go. So Litecoin, we're putting in higher highs, higher lows. This is looking strong here. So, um, like for me, I would wait for it to maybe come down to the previous highs, right at this low level where you see a lot of this trading. Find a support area, maybe even dollar cost average. You can see that the higher time frame SMAs are sitting in these levels here. Right here's your 200, your 50, your 100 area, right? So 200 is right here, your 150 or 89 is in right here. You have your city. So even all the way up to here or even down into here, you still have higher highs. So you can see a sell-off coming in. You do see that. But with the broad market showing strength and then showing weakness, I do see it kind of selling off, right? You see money changing. Let's check out dot. Dot here is looking pretty strong again. Look, we have those higher highs, higher lows. We are above this high here, right? So again, that shows some strength coming into the markets. You do see some major volume stepping in as well at these levels, so that's pretty decent, right? Let's go and check out Cardano. Cardano is showing weakness because we're not above this area right here. Look, this is what we're really gauging, where you can see a lot of those other markets are putting higher highs above this previous high, whereas they weren't able to do that. So maybe wait for a sell-off to come into that 32 area-ish area, and then potentially even coming back testing that 23 area, right? We could see another sell-off to that area potentially. But if we do see continuation of it moving up, you want to be ready for the weekly and monthly moving averages sitting right here. Give me 1 second. So you can see that 8. Oh, that's, oh shoot, we're actually above it. So we're playing right off of that monthly right here, playing off of here. So we're using that. Look at that weekly. We have that 50 period moving average as we're playing there. That might be an area for you to be paying attention to, right? For that weekly, simply because if the market just decides to move up, it's going to hit the 50 period moving average right here. So be ready for that. They are finding support off that 8 and 20 period moving average sitting here, which is the weekly here. 1 second. It's not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Looking at that weekly, I'd wait for a lower retracement back into these levels if you're going to be looking to buy. Because it did not put in, it's got to come back, get some new buyers and push back up. In additionally to that, when you're looking at Doge, we saw some major stuff going on with it, but the market overall, you can see it hasn't been able to push above, and we're consolidating in this area. Down here, we saw a lot of buyers, a lot of fighting going back and forth. We talked about that in September when I was going live. So now we're seeing it kind of fall off and do something similar. We're going to see it push up. I don't know. It very much could come back and test these 6-cent marks before we do see it come higher. And then again, to point out that we have higher time frame SMAs above us. And when it comes to Doge, let's check out Tron. Tron, I have not, you guys know that I've talked about this a couple times with Tron, that their USDD. Now let's check out USDD because I actually haven't checked it out in a minute. I think USDD. Yeah, here we go. USDD. Ooh, they had some nice little spike here. They came back up, so it looks like they did come back to peg, which is really good. Glad that they did, just simply because this huge sell-off was not a good thing. So I'm glad that they really funnel money, and they probably got a loan or somebody to step in and really keep that back at this level. And I hope that they play both ends, where they actually, go long and short at the same time, so they can actually go through and keep this at a decent peg. Still, 996 is not a bad thing. We'd like to see it at that 999. Where we have 3 nines versus 2 nines, but still 2 9 ain't bad. Keep it more steady here, which is important. But Tron here, you can see as they brought this back to peg, this is where we actually see Tron here actually showing strength. And this is what you're seeing here. So, boom, we saw strength come in. Last week they did push it up, so you can sit there and see that people's confidence in them reestablished, and now look, boom, they're at this point. So it's important to pay attention to that. Listen, I give it up to the Tron community. They stayed strong, and give it up for those guys. Those are dope. Let's check out Matic here. Matic. All right, Matic here, as you guys can see, did put in a higher high off of here. And in additionally to that, we're sitting pretty strong. It came almost up to or did come up to $1.50 here. So you guys can sit there and see that we did it. We do have some sellers sitting in these levels here. As you can see, I have it marked out. We'll probably come back and tap the highs of that 127 area, and potentially, if it does start to see a sell off, potentially come down to that 76 mark again. But in this, you can see this is a good support area. They boom, this is where they bounced off at and really put in. So you can see here, it came up, bounced, put a higher high, came back, got support again, and put in a new higher high. So they might potentially either come back down to the 72-cent mark, or potentially down into that 90-ish $1 mark area here, where they find more support and push back up to a new higher high. This is an area of resistance. Be ready at that 160, but it did hit that decent number of 150 mark, where we did see a sell-off. A lot of times when it stops short before an area and then see a sell-off to come get more buyers, it will blow through another area. So it's something to be paying attention to. Let's check out Shibby Shib. Shib, it looks a lot like Doge, but the decent side is that it did put in a higher high here. It came so close to my area here at the level down in June of that 7-6 area. And then back here again, came back down, put in another 7-7 area. So yeah, these are decent little signs here that you're seeing live. Seeing live step into Shib here. But again, it's still kind of consolidating for the last month. We'll see what happens with it. And let's check out Solana here. Solana is showing, it's Solana, man. There's a lot of stuff going on with it, but it's just sad, man. I don't understand why it's doing what it is, but it is. From a charting standpoint, there's no higher high, put in the lower high or lower low here. So for me, it's showing weakness. So for myself, I'm more bearish on Solana simply because of what we're seeing. The only fun part behind it is that we're seeing volume step in right here, right, in comparison to the other previous weeks. So we could see it potentially put in a higher high from here if it continues up. All right, guys, that's it in a nutshell. Thanks for coming in and watching me. Appreciate y'all. You guys have a blessed day. If you have any questions, concerns, you can always reach me at Moonrock Coin at any point in time and talk to me. Also, you can hit me up on my own YouTube channel and checking things out. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So I'm going to drop in the Moonrock link here. So in case you guys want to find me or something like that, reach me on Telegram. You can. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will be to you guys soon. Many blessings. Bye. Ooh, one last thing here, real quick. Stop sharing. If you guys have any questions in regards to me, I'll talk about this later next time I go live. All right, many blessings, guys. Bye.